Hey, I'm Jeroen from the Looks Lab, and after watching this video you'll know exactly how to color correct and grade your DJI footage in DaVinci Resolve. This is a beginner tutorial, so we're going to try and do our best to simplify everything as much as possible so you fully understand what's going on and you can take these methods and apply it to your own videos. So let's dive straight into it. Once you have the clips you want to edit in DaVinci Resolve, we're going to head straight over to the color page, and you'll see that these clips have already been done because I want to show you a couple of examples. This first clip has a simple 3-note setup, but I hear you thinking, what are these notes and how do they work? So think of these notes as following. The raw video, which is here, is being passed through this first node. So this first node directly changes things to the raw video. Once we have made changes here, it passes it on to the second node with all of the changes that we made. Then all of the changes that we make in the second node are not applied to the raw video, but are applied to the raw video plus the adjustments that we already made, and then adds the adjustment we made here on top of that. And then the third node, again, doesn't get just the raw video, but it gets the raw video that has these adjustments and the adjustments from node 2, and it then applies adjustments on top of that. Now you'll see that I've named all of these nodes. This first one is called correction, the second is conversion, and the third is creative. Now what a lot of people get wrong is that they apply these 3 nodes and they start from the left to the right, which seems logical, but in this case isn't actually. Because if we turn off these 2 last nodes, then we don't really know what's going on here. We can make a ton of changes, but we don't actually know what it's going to look like at the end. So the first thing we always have to do if you have a D-Log M video is convert it to normal looking colors, or Rec 709. You'll probably hear a lot of people saying Rec 709. All that means is that it just looks like normal. We're going to turn this one on, and don't worry, we'll start from scratch and show you how to make the nodes, how to apply everything on the next clip, but I just want you to understand the workflow before we do all of that. Once you've applied the conversion LUT, we're going to first apply a creative look before we're going to head to the corrections. So we apply this creative look, and you'll see that in this waveform, if it's all the way on the left, it means we're looking at this part of the image, and it's at 0, so it means it's fully black. And we can see here, this area is probably around here, which is fully white. Now this is where our correction node comes in. We now have converted it and added a creative look, but now we need to dial in a few settings and color correct the image so it looks as good as it possibly can. So I'm going to turn on this first node, and you'll see that we brought down these highlights to the second line so they're not clipping anymore, and we slightly upped this line, try and gain back some detail in the darker areas. Now that you understand the workflow, so we have our D-Log M video, we first convert it, we apply a creative look, and then we go back to the first node since we want to work directly on the raw video with all the information. That's where we want to do all the corrections, and that's the full 3-step process. So now let's head into our last video and start from scratch. To create nodes, you can either right click and choose add node, or you can use Option S or Alt S on Windows. Like we just said, we're going to go into that second node first for our conversion. So I'm going to open LUTs. I'm going to go to our LUT bundle, log to Rec 709. So again, log is the D-Log M, the flat looking colors to normal looking colors. And we're going to find our DJI D-Log M to Rec 709. We're going to double click it to apply it, and you'll see that this little cube shows up here, which means it is applied. Then we're going to go ahead and select our last node, and we're going to apply a creative look. So I'm going to head into vintage look and select vintage look 7, which straight off the bat is way too strong. And oh, by the way, if you want to try 2 of our looks for free, plus get this DJI D-Log M conversion LUT for free, go to the first link in our description and download our free starter pack. So now with this creative look applied, we're going to head over to this icon right here. And we're going to change how strong the effect is on the video, because this is a little bit too strong. And we're going to drag the key output down until we're satisfied with how this looks. So I like it at 0.7 in this case, for example, and you'll see how much of a difference this makes to the video itself. We could even go a little bit lower. Let's do this. And now you'll see that this is a little bit overexposed, but overall it's actually pretty good from the start. But we're still going to head into that first node, and we're going to be using this third and fourth icon to color correct our footage to make it look as good as possible. So to start, I'm going to head into the first icon and click over to log wheels, and here we'll be able to reduce those highlights, and you'll see we're slightly able to bring back a little bit of detail here, not a lot. Because this is blown out, as you can see, there's not much we can recover here. And for this clip, actually, we don't have to do a lot of correction because this already looks pretty good. If you want to change the exposure, you could use this offset feature to make it brighter, darker. But since our video was correctly exposed when filming, We could leave it as is. We can maybe do a little bit with the shadows, tiny bit. And for this video, that's really all the corrections you have to do. And in case your video looks off, maybe looks too blue or too orange, you can select this dropper right here and find a white or neutral color in your video and just click it. It will then change the temperature and tint to correct the white balance so that it looks more natural. Now, if you want to apply the same color grade to a different clip, all you have to do is select all of the nodes, choose Command C or Control C on Windows, go to the different clip and paste it. So Command V or Control V. We're gonna have to remove this node, select the second and do Shift S so that we create a node before this, because the color correction is always based on the clip itself and it's not something that you can universally apply. So we're gonna select the first node and go to the third icon, and we're gonna reduce the highlights a little bit. Again, this clip doesn't need that much changing. Make a few small adjustments. And I'm gonna click into the third node and I'm gonna reduce the intensity of the look a little bit for this clip, and you'll see that now these two match color-wise. And that's really how simple it is to color correct and grade your DJI D-Log M footage in DaVinci Resolve. If you want to see a complete before and after, you can toggle off this switch. This is the raw footage and this is with our color correction and grade applied. If you want to see the effect of a certain node, you can click the number of the node to turn it off and on. I know that DaVinci can seem like a lot when you're first starting out, but if you just learned a simple 3-node setup, you're able to do some basic color correction and applying a conversion and a creative look. There's no need to have 15 different nodes if you're a beginner. This 3-node setup will get you 80% of the way there. And again, if you'd like that free starter pack with 2 creative looks and the DJI D-Log M conversion LUT, go to the first link in our description. And if you'd like our full look bundle, so you have access to all of our looks and conversion LUTs for all of these different camera brands, they are also included in that look bundle, which you can get in the second link in our description. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe and like this video, and if you have any other questions, leave them down in the comments and we'll help you as soon as we possibly can.